So, Tom Brodigan, I am the owner of Point Fitness, and we're located here at 110 Morgan's Point Road in Belton, Belton Temple area. So yeah, been here going on 2 years come June. So I came into fitness through an injury as a young kid, 12 years old, and from there, just my passion for fitness took off. Ended up getting my education in exercise physiology, got my degree, carried that with me everywhere. I went on to have a career in the military, retire from the military, but really it was fitness. It was working out and nutrition and healthy lifestyle, and I just carried that with me forever. And come full circle after a lot of just colorful life and traveling, military and other employments, had the opportunity to do this, and it was kind of a now or never kind of thing, and took that leap of faith. Yeah, it was a turning point in life. Went through some tough times, and I was at the time I was 50 years old, and came out of a divorce and so forth, and just asked myself some tough questions. Where do I want to be in so many years? What do you want to do? It was a big chapter in life, and so I again had the opportunity to do this. Knew the gentleman who owned the plaza through my other employment, which was real estate, and he had a title company here. And I just asked him, like, hey, how much? What's the lease like, right? And I started just to put things together, penning it together, and 2 years later we opened the doors. It was one of those things like, okay, I don't want to be in real estate, and I'm going to take my shot in life. So it was a 2-year build, but we've been open for June 15th, 2023. So a little over a year and a half.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years coming up. It's gone by quick. Lesson learned. We did a cold start. We didn't really do a big, massive lead up, so we did a cold start, and that was, that's not the way to go about it. So we're at 450, 475 right now. And I'm very proud of that. We worked really hard. I mean, the initial phase, the honeymoon phase, is always wonderful, and then reality sets in. And just like anybody else, we had our bumps in the road, unforeseen things, and those are going to test you. And without the help of a lot of people around me, my partner, my manager, my friends, my family, it was tough. Dylan has been a wonderful help, somebody to lean into and ask questions and learn. Uh, and then a little restructuring, and here we are. So passing that 1 year milestone statistically is big. Most businesses are going to fail in that first year. So um, I I underestimated like the value in that, and a very, very good friend and partner was like, hey, you've beat 70% of the odds.
That's right.
And I said, wow, well, it still doesn't look great. He goes, it doesn't matter. He said, you beat 70%. And from there, we kind of restructured and kind of put our business hat on. Passion and emotion are the things that get you into business. They're also the first thing to get you out of business. You have to really put that aside and look at it in a business from a business sense. So that emotion. So there's one point I almost gave it away. It's hard. You want to service people. Sitting at home doing my. I knew enough to know in this business that brand new equipment is not always the best route. Financially, knew about used, new, refurbished and used equipment. Just doing my research, and Dylan was still somewhat new. I think I found him more on social media, and he was close by. Gerald from here is 25, maybe 30 minutes max. And talking to him, I did purchase some new stuff, but I started with Dylan and some of the pre-owned and refurbished stuff. Went down to see him, and he was still relatively new, and he was eager and hungry. And the thing about CTX is he was honest. He communicated. I could walk the floor and he would show it to me. The product he gave back to me was exactly what he said, but it was more than that. We created a friendship really early on because he was building his business and his brand, and we were grinding. But I could go to him with questions about the business. And then I love Dylan. I love telling the story. He said, who's going to do your install? And I said, well, I mean, I'm very naive. I said, I am. And I laughed at, he laughed at me, and I love that. He was like, no, man. And that was the biggest mentorship ever, because he was saving me from something that I didn't see coming. So we talked about it, and okay, he's going to do my install. But he did more than that. He coordinated with the other equipment coming out of California because everything works in a linear fashion. And there's dates when as soon as the stuff arrives, it has to go in here and things in the building have to be done at a particular time. And he worked with the gentleman in California, coordinated everything, showed up here, and then we sat down with the sketch. And what people don't see, there's an enormous amount of psychology on this floor of where it goes, how it goes, why it goes a certain place. And Dylan was, we talked those pieces and where we put it together. And more importantly, he cared about the install as far as like, I don't want to scratch your floor, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I want to do that. Here's how it's going to work. Everything he said, you're going to need this, you're going to need a dumpster, you're going to need that, was exactly what we needed. He was honest, he was on time, and he works. He was here working with those people. He just doesn't cut them loose. And I could communicate with him when it came our time. And then post-wise, it's a nesting phase after that. It's about, this is loose, this isn't working, this is squeaky. They would come back and they would work on it. It was 3 or 4 days of them just putting all this together. And then, like I said, the nesting phase started, and he was there from beginning to end. And the value in that, I couldn't write that check fast enough. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, it was amazing. And then we created a friendship after that. And I've just been following, and his business has exploded. I tell everybody about CTX. And having them in Gerald, he was smart to figure out, man, there's a need here. He gives a good product. He busts his butt. He thinks out of the box. Communicative. He's expanded, but the product is right. That, and he's honest. That's the biggest thing, being transparent in this business. And it was, when people say refurbished, for instance, I would go define that. Some people would give it the sign of the cross, and that's refurbished, But he was on, I could walk in and see on his floor, he's like, this is what refurbished means to us. This is, so forth. And that's the difference. I can see it and I can touch it. And, but it's just, and trust. Small business in the world today, it's hard. Trust, communication, trust. I can see the product, touch it, and he's going to give you the service.
Heck yeah. What's something about Dylan that people don't know that they should know as a person, as a business operator?
Oh, as a business, he's a heck of a dad.
It's all good, man.
Don't show him that. But he was, he's a dad. So we had met, and we're doing this thing, and I think it hadn't been long that I purchased some equipment from him, and he said to me that his wife was pregnant. So I've watched their business grow, their family grow, everything, and he's a big kid, and but he's a dad. So when I started to look for equipment, I mean, of course, it would be great to find that complete package, which is kind of the white unicorn when it comes to building, unless it's a franchise package deal. This is like a custom car. So it's going to be a piece from over here, a piece from another, piece from another. Finding that, again, that complete package is going to be tough. Color, condition, everything. So he had a line of machines right here behind me, a Matrix line, and that was the brand I was looking for. And it was a line that he had for a little while. He needed to move it, so I went down and looked at it. It was used, and he said, "Tell you what, I'll do a few extra things, just kind of." I looked it over, and he did. He went the extra mile, cleaned it up the way I wanted. And I said, at that time, I said, show me what it's going to look like, right? So I left. I came back a week later, and I went and I looked at it. Go, perfect. Do that to the rest of them, and we're good. And from there, I did end up buying several other pieces from him as they came in. But I always knew he would be honest with me. I go, man, I love this piece of equipment. He goes, you don't want that. You want this over here, and this is why. So he did save me a lot of money in that aspect. Or certain lines of equipment that I might have liked, and he's like, the wear and tear, the knowledge in fixing things. Some of the cardio equipment is pre-owned through Dylan. So, and he'd be honest, like, hey, here's the pluses and here's the minuses. But I can reach out to him for pieces and parts and maintenance. That is huge. This industry is very tough unless you're a mechanical person, which I am. That service and support is that something in here breaks every day. So, and I can reach out to him as, and he can give me some insight or have a piece of the part, and off we go. That's invaluable. Having that in my hip pocket, I think, as a gym owner here in Central Texas, with them CTX being in Gerald, they'd have to come out of Dallas or Houston in something, and being able to pick up the phone and call. Now I have that, like personal friendship, but if you call his department and those people, they're going to make it happen. And his people, one of those, have somebody come by on Thursday to pick up a piece of equipment. And Rusty is an awesome personality. He hires the right people. That's what I like. When you're looking at this line of equipment new, you're looking at anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 per piece of equipment. A piece of cardio can be $5,000 to $7,000. So what I was able to get through CTX, and know that it was still a solid line of equipment. He wasn't giving me junk, and that he was going to pay attention to small things, and he was still going to make his margin. I mean, it's a business. Well over $100,000, well over. If I had to buy it all brand new, I would. I think I did the whole place for half of what most people estimated, but it took people like CTX and doing that to make it work, working inside that budget. Well, my intent was for you to walk in and go, wow. And the biggest compliment when they come in, they go, oh, this isn't a franchise? I know we hit the mark. And we worked really hard. And again, Dylan is a big piece of that, how the equipment went here, the look, the feel, the whole bit. But yeah, when they say, oh, it's not a franchise, I go, wow. But we did it right.
Heck yeah.
So I would do it again. I can look around here and see 1,000 things I'd do differently, but you don't see that. But and that's where the passion and comes in. You're always looking to improve. But I am very happy and proud of this. I'm happy to tell everybody about CTX, and the service. And I wish nothing but the best and want to see them just explode. I love his drive. I I had several ideas, and one was more in the service and support area, and I called him to talk about that, and he was already well ahead of me. He, for somebody who's, I'm a little older, and for where he's at, his drive to do something, to say I'm going to, and then make it happen. They're working on certain lines of equipment, and the lengths that they went. I don't know how much he wants me to exploit that, but the lengths they went to make that happen, I was like, that's incredible. That inspires me a lot. And and I was like, for a guy of that age to step out, do what he did, watch his business grow, just, and then he shared his ups and downs, and which again helped me get through mine. But man, when he says he's going to do something, he makes it happen. And then he goes home and he's a dad, you know. He's a big kid and he's a dad, and he's kind of like living that dream. But man, he inspires me with his work ethic. That's the big thing. Number one, I'd say come by and talk to me. The lessons learned here, and then absolutely the understanding of new, refurbished, used, and then having somebody like CTX or Dylan in your hip pocket to go to, because he's going to sit down and talk to you. He's going to get to know you, figure it out, that personal thing. But man, ask the questions. I like to think I'm one of those owners, like, I'm going to tell you all the good and I'm going to tell you all the bad. Oh yeah, and I wouldn't steer anybody away from this business, but if you take the knowledge that I have and you take somebody like Dylan, what he can do for you, your success rate is going to go up. I came into it with a little bit disillusioned about certain things and learned the hard way, even though I've been around it forever and a day. So, but Dylan brings a massive element to it with his knowledge of equipment, the service he has, and the savings. Oh, Point Fitness, Point Fitness here at 110 Arbor Plaza, Morgan's Point Road. We're a 24-hour upscale boutique fitness center, but we offer you a solid, full-scale service. From machines, cardios, free weight, but it's the environment here. We're a family and fitness around here. And that's really, we know your name, who you are, and if you're not showing up, we're probably going to call or text you. And that's what I love. And it's just like the slogan is, get fit, stay fit, get to the point. That's our kind of brand and our thing. come by and see us. It's more about fitness, about being part of the family of fitness.